Hello friends, welcome to the Read Aloud with Miss Vasquez. Today we are going to read Mr. Sugar Came to Town. Before we start reading our book, I want to talk about the characters. Remember friends, characters are the people or animal in the story. Mr. Sugar Came to Town by Harriet Romer and Cruz Gomez, illustrated by Enrique Chagoya. For the farm workers and their families. Grandma Lupe made the best tamales in the neighborhood. They were delicious. Everyone loved them, especially the children, Alicia and Alfredo. One warm spring evening, just as Grandma Lupe was serving her delicious tamales, the children heard an unusual sound. It was a magical tinkling sound. "What is that?" cried Alfredo. "Let's go see," answered Alicia. They jumped up and ran out of the door before Grandma Lupe could stop them. The strangest stroke they had ever seen was parked in front of their house. It looked like a candy store, a bakery, a soda fountain, and a donut factory. "Hello, my little sweeties," said Mr. Sugar. He was the driver of the truck. "Would you like to try a tasty goodie?" The children stared with big eyes. "You mean we can have anything we want?" "Certainly, my little sugar pies," said Mr. Sugar. "But everything looks so good. We don't know what to try first." Mr. Sugar smiled. He had beautiful white teeth. "How about a double chocolate sundae? And a raspberry cream pie? And a giant mocha fola? And let's not forget 7 fudge bars for dessert." The children stuffed themselves. They felt a little sick afterwards, but they could hardly wait for Mr. Sugar to come again. The next morning, at the sound of the tinkling bell, Alicia and Alfredo were first in line at Mr. Sugar's truck. They were first in line in the afternoon too. From that day on, they were always first in the line at the magical sugar truck. The children stopped eating their meals. They say they weren't hungry. They even fed their delicious tamales to the dog when Grandma Lupe wasn't looking. First, they got so fat they couldn't see their feet. Then, they found black holes in their teeth. But that wasn't all. In the morning, after they ate at Mr. Sugar's truck, they had so much energy, they ran backwards to school, climbed up on the roof, and pretend they were helicopters. They got into trouble. A little while later, all their energy was gone. They fell asleep at their desk. They got into trouble again. "Foolish children," scolded Grandma Lupe. "All that sugar is bad for you." "But Grandma," they cried, "we love Mr. Sugar." Grandma Lupe frowned. "That might be true, children," she said, "but Mr. Sugar doesn't love you." "What do you mean, Grandma?" "You will see, my foolish little children. You will see." That afternoon, when the magical sugar bell rang, Grandma Lupe marched out to the truck. The children moved out of her way. They wondered what was going to happen. "Welcome, Grandma Lupe," said Mr. Sugar. "I knew you couldn't resist my tasty goodies." "Good afternoon, Mr. Sugar. I'm here for a closer look," said Grandma Lupe. "Certainly, sweet Granny. Step right up here. I've been saving this heavenly cream puff for you." Grandma Lupe took a step forward. She looked Mr. Sugar in the eye. Then she grabbed his nose and started pulling. "Don't do that!" he cried. But Grandma Lupe kept on pulling with all her strength. At last, Mr. Sugar's face came off in her hands. It was only a mask. The children gasped. The real Mr. Sugar was ugly. His friendly smile was gone. He had no teeth at all. They looked at the foot of his truck, and it was as ugly as Mr. Sugar. Look what you've done, Grandma Lupe, cried Mr. Sugar. You spoiled my plan. He jumped in his truck and drove away in a cloud of sugar smoke. Mr. Sugar disappeared and everyone was happy. That night, the family celebrated with a great feast. They ate rice and beans, chiles and meat, fruit and vegetables from the garden. Best of all, they ate Grandma Lupe's delicious tamales. What do I care if those kids don't want me? Lots of people still love my sugar. You know what? Maybe I'll come to your town. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book. And remember, friends, tell me if you could identify the characters of the story. Bye-bye.